When we think about ancient empires, they often come to mind. We envision mighty armies, grand palaces, and towering monuments. However, amidst all of this, there were some rare rulers who envisioned something more. They aimed to build not just an empire, but a righteous society, a state guided by principles of morality and justice. In Sanskrit, the term dharma means righteousness, duty, and cosmic order. For Ashoka, dharma took on a broader meaning. It evolved into a universal principle, a path to living harmoniously with all beings. Well, it meant that every aspect of governance, every interaction between the ruler and the ruled, and every decision affecting the empire would be guided by the principles of dharma. His first order was addressed to his own kith and kin. He instructed his sons and grandsons, as well as his ministers and close family members, to embrace celibacy. He even urged them to follow Buddhist practices. He strategically placed them across the empire, ensuring that the message of Dharma reached every corner of his realm. Traveling extensively, they taught the local populations about Ashoka's Dhamma, adjudicated legal cases fairly, and worked to improve the lives of the people. They were the eyes and ears of the emperor, relaying information about the needs and concerns of the people directly to him. Previously, yanas were elaborate ceremonies where animals were sacrificed to appease the gods. However, Ashoka's deep respect for all forms of life led him to significantly curtail these practices. He viewed the taking of innocent lives as a grave offense and began discouraging animal sacrifices. Edicts were issued declaring that no one should be compelled to follow a particular religion, and that people were free to choose and practice their faith without fear of persecution. This policy applied not only to Buddhists, but also followers of other religions such as Brahmins, Jains, and Ajivikas. Their presence in every province ensured that the benefits of Dharma were widespread, shaping the lives of millions. These structures were designed to disseminate his teachings and policies across his vast empire. He believed that true prosperity came not from material possessions, but from the well-being and happiness of his subjects. He was a staunch advocate of non-violence, and he actively pursued diplomatic relations with neighboring kingdoms. Ashoka established a legacy that transcended his own lifetime. His deeds resonated across generations, inspiring countless individuals to strive for a better, more compassionate world. Through skillful diplomacy, he formed alliances and promoted peaceful coexistence, thus creating an atmosphere of stability and tranquility throughout the region. And subscribe to our channel for more such captivating historical tales. And if you have any comments or suggestions, feel free to drop them below. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the fascinating world of history, but also the very concept of what it meant to be a ruler. His journey from a conqueror to a champion of Dharma was nothing short of extraordinary, and his legacy continues to serve as a beacon of hope and inspiration for all of us. His focus was on improving the lives of the people, ensuring their security, and providing for their welfare. On them, he inscribed messages promoting peace, nonviolence, compassion, truthfulness, and the importance of living a righteous life. These edicts stand as enduring symbols of his commitment to Dharma and his legacy as a champion of religious harmony. These officials weren't just administrators, they were also teachers and ambassadors of Ashoka's new vision. Their role was pivotal. Typically, government officials were primarily concerned with tax collection and law enforcement. These projects not only enhanced the quality of life for his subjects, but also stimulated economic activity and trade. He encouraged the pursuit of knowledge and the creation of works of art that celebrated the human spirit. Under his patronage, scholars and artists flourished, contributing to the cultural enrichment of his empire. Moreover, he maintained law and order throughout his domain, establishing a strong and efficient judicial system that protected the rights of all citizens. However, Ashoka redefined their roles, expanding their responsibilities to include the promotion of Dharma and the welfare of the people. Furthermore, he issued edicts reducing punishments, demonstrating his commitment to minimizing harm to living beings. These edicts served as a reminder that his rule was guided by principles of nonviolence and compassion, marking a stark contrast to the practices of his time. It was a revolutionary approach, laying the foundation for a state that valued morality, justice, and the well-being of its citizens. He championed the protection of all life. His edicts mandated that those who caused harm to animals, birds, or fish were to be punished. Even hunting for sport became an offense against the state. Such measures were unprecedented, reflecting Ashoka's profound empathy and his determination to create a society that valued all living creatures. They were tasked with educating the populace about Dharma, resolving disputes, and most importantly, ensuring that the king's vision of a righteous state was realized. While his call for celibacy might seem radical, it was rooted in the Buddhist belief that attachment and desire lead to suffering. By renouncing worldly pleasures, including sexual desires, one could attain a higher state of being free from suffering. However, it was not a forced practice. Instead, it was presented as a path to enlightenment, leaving the choice ultimately up to individuals. No longer would the empire's actions be solely driven by the pursuit of power or material gain. Instead, it would be anchored by compassion, fairness, equality, and the welfare of all. His idea of Dharma wasn't confined to one religion. It transcended boundaries, encompassing all paths and faiths. It was about recognizing the shared values and ethics that bound humanity, regardless of their beliefs. He welcomed those who accepted his vision, offering them support and land. Many answered his call, drawn by his charisma and the promise of a new way of governing. Once they arrived, they faced a task that had never been undertaken before, infusing a vast empire with the principles of Dharma. One such ruler was Emperor Ashoka of ancient India. Welcome to my channel. This is part 5 of our series, Ashoka the Great, Emperor of ancient India. In the last episode, we saw how the brutal Kalinga War changed Ashoka forever. The bloodshed shook him deeply, turning his thoughts to peace and non-violence. After embracing Buddhism, his perspective on ruling changed. Gone was the ambition to expand his territory. In its place bloomed an entirely new vision, transforming his empire into what would become known as the first Dhamma State. Now let us dive into the fascinating world of ancient India and witness how Ashoka turned his empire into a beacon of righteousness. Following his conversion, Ashoka didn't confine himself to the palace walls. Instead, he embarked on a series of tours across his vast empire. But these were no ordinary trips. They were missions to spread his message of Dharma. During these travels, he engaged with people from all walks of life, listened to their concerns and understood their needs. He interacted with monks and scholars, delving deep into Buddhist teachings and absorbing their insights. All the while, he grappled with a central question: how could he infuse these spiritual values into the core of his empire? Finally, in the 6th year of his reign, he had his epiphany. He decided to establish a Dhamma State. But what does being a Dhamma State mean? To materialize this grand vision, Ashoka didn't hesitate to shake things up. He introduced sweeping changes across the empire. But Ashoka's reforms didn't stop at home. He reached out far and wide, extending invitations to Buddhist monks and missionaries from distant lands. To achieve this, Ashoka established a unique system of officials known as Dhamma Mahamatas, the chief officers of Dharma. These Dhamma officials became the backbone of Ashoka's rule. The introduction of these specialized officers marked a significant departure from the norms of the time. Under Ashoka's guidance, the concept of yajna, a ritual involving offerings and sacrifices, underwent a dramatic transformation. His influence extended to the royal court as well. Ashoka's sons, grandsons, and even his own mother were prohibited from participating in animal sacrifices. But Ashoka's impact went beyond the reduction of animal sacrifices. Religious tolerance was another pillar of Ashoka's reign. He envisioned a society where differences in faith were respected and harmony prevailed. One of Ashoka's most notable acts of religious tolerance was the construction of 9 rock edicts and 4 pillar edicts. Instead of amassing wealth for himself, Ashoka chose to use his resources to serve his people. One of the ways he achieved this was through the construction of public works, such as roads, bridges, and irrigation systems. Furthermore, Ashoka was a patron of the arts and sciences. However, perhaps the most remarkable aspect of Ashoka's reign was his commitment to peace. By prioritizing the welfare of his people, promoting religious harmony, and championing the cause of peace. So there you have it, the remarkable story of Emperor Ashoka, who transformed not only the course of Indian history. Thanks for joining us on this journey through time. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to like it.